Happening, guys, and welcome back to the channel. And after the midweek action in the Carabao Cup, Chelsea are back in Premier League action. After smashing basement boys Norwich City 7-0 last week, we travel to second bottom Newcastle United. George, over the years, St James's Park has been quite a tricky test for us. We've not done so well there. We've registered a few losses. I think back in 2018, we lost 3-0 there under Frank Lampard. So it's been a tough place over the years, as I said. What are you expecting from tomorrow's game? Obviously, Newcastle first game back at St James's Park, where Steve Bruce is not manager. They haven't appointed a permanent manager yet. They've got Graham Jones, the assistant, in charge. What sort of matchup are you expecting?
A tough one. It's never easy to play a side that have lost their manager, because again, they'll have that bounce and the players will have the opportunity to showcase themselves in preparation for whoever comes in next. So they're almost all on trial. So it's quite a dangerous time to play Newcastle United, I would say. And you're right, mate. Can't really remember a time where we went to Newcastle and dominated, really, or had a really good, positive performance. Yes, we've had some wins in there in the past, but it's usually tends to be quite tight. So I'm expecting a really difficult game. I think actually not having Lukaku, if he's still unfit, is a benefit for us. I know that sounds a bit weird, but again, I think the fluidity in the front three helps us in a game like this, rather than a target man and trying to force it into him from wide areas, because I think they can cope with that quite easily. I expect it to be a low-scoring game. Be interesting to see if he keeps the Mount, Hudson-Odoi, Havertz kind of front three. I would assume so. Questions in midfield, perhaps, but you'd expect Kovacic as well. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think we should be obviously looking to win every game in the Premier League, particularly where they are in the league. But I don't know, mate. Obviously, I'm going to give my predictions later, but I'm not quite sure where this one's going to go.
Yeah, I think obviously you touched on the lineup there. It's obviously going to be a much tougher game you would expect than last weekend against Norwich, which was quite frankly a men against boys situation. You touched on the lineups briefly there. Chelsea got a clean bill of health, obviously, apart from Lukaku and Timo Werner. Christian Pulisic was back in training, expected to be in the squad. I can't envisage him starting at all. It'd be great to see him get some minutes off the bench if possible. But you look at it, Hakim Ziyech, dreadful in the League Cup in the week. There's no way he's going to be starting this game. I just can't see it. So that only leaves you the front three of Havertz, Hudson-Odoi and Mount, which I think is actually working pretty well, all things considered. At the back, I'd probably expect Christensen, Thiago Silva, Rudiger maybe, or Aspie. You know, three of those four will play. And Chilwell and James pretty much pick themselves up in wing back. But yeah, as you said, middle of the park's the slightly one that's up for debate. N'Golo Kante will be available again. Whether we see him from the off or not remains to be seen, of course. Loftus-Cheek should realistically have a shout of being back in the starting lineup. What pairing do you think he's going to go with in the centre of the park?
I think he'll probably play safe. Again, it depends on, I mean, if N'Golo's completely fit and happy to play, he'll start. But if there's any doubt whatsoever, I think he'll definitely play Kovacic. He's one that's definitely going to play the way he's playing. And then I'd probably go Jorginho just for the safe aspect to start with. But I think Loftus-Cheek at the moment is a bit, I still think Thomas Tuchel sees him as more of an impact player when the game opens up a bit and he's got space to run into, rather than being on the front foot when the game's very 50-50 at the start. I don't think he trusts him enough at that level yet. Obviously, I hope I'm wrong. I'd love to see him have a start against a big away game and see how he fares. But for me, I think he's going to play it safe.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see kind of two more defensive-minded players. Obviously, Ruben's a lot more forward-thinking. It's definitely a game that he could do very well in, but yeah, I'd love to see him from the start, but I think Tuchel probably won't go with him from the off, which is a shame, but I would expect him to play some part from the bench anyway. I mean, Newcastle's defending has been woeful this season. It really has, shipping goals all over the place. Pretty much a championship back four. It's virtually the same defence that they got promoted with in the championship. No one's really been added to that back line at all. It's a good opportunity for us then. I'm not saying we're going to go and score 7 again, but it's a great opportunity for us to go and lay down another marker, perhaps get 3-4 goals, on the board if we can, and get some confidence in those attacking players. Do you think we can score kind of a lot of goals again, or are you expecting this to be a lot tighter?
Yeah, I expect this to be a lot tighter. I mean, if we could get 4, amazing, but just winning the game. I think, but there are going to be moments this season where are Chelsea really ready to win the title? And a lot of people are kind of backing Chelsea at the moment because of the form we're in. But I mean, the Brentford game sticked out, didn't it, as one that could have been a real hiccup, and we really showed kind of title winning attitude. And I think this is another one where Newcastle, a ground where we haven't done well in previous years, we've actually lost a title race there way back when. So I think this is a real marker again if Chelsea are really up for the challenge, because if you look at, say, Manchester City going to Newcastle, you'd expect them to not just get a result, but how many. And I think this is a stumbling block for Chelsea, perhaps, if we lack the confidence to really take the game to Newcastle. So again, if we were to win this one, I really do think with the games we've got coming up as well, I really do think that Chelsea are working their way towards this Premier League title this season, and I'll start to believe.
Yeah, no, it's definitely one of those that if you want to win a title, these are the games where you have to be winning. We've got Liverpool, Manchester City hot on our heels. When you're playing teams in the bottom 3, regardless if you're home or away, if you want to win titles, you have to win these football matches. I'm not necessarily thinking we have to go and blow these teams away. Even if we get a scrappy 1-0 and it's a last-minute penalty, we just need to win these games, which is really important. We've definitely got more than enough to do it. The side is more than capable. We are playing well. But let's not kid ourselves. We can't keep winning every week. There will come a point where we will lose football matches. We've lost to Manchester City, and we will lose to teams that perhaps we don't expect to lose to. That will happen, whether that's this weekend or not. I don't think so, but you can't rule it out at all. In terms of Newcastle, mate, obviously we've touched on how poor they are defensively. Going forward, though, they've been quite good. They haven't really struggled scoring goals too much. And then Alan St. Maximin, they've got a very dangerous player who, we're going to have to watch closely, aren't we?
Yeah, I like him a lot. I rate him very highly. He can just open up a game, and one of those dangerous players that can score from anywhere or do something just out of the blue. Yeah, you're right, mate. They don't struggle to score goals, and going forward's not the problem for them. I mean, yes, they probably need more of a talisman, but they're just a strange one, aren't they? They are a team that can turn it on when they want to, especially in big games. I mean, they didn't play too badly against Manchester United. I can't remember if that was this season. Oh, yeah, they didn't play too badly. They were unlucky to.
They lost 4-1, but actually that was a bit harsh on them. They got back into the game at 1-1. They were doing pretty well. And obviously last time out against Spurs, a couple of weeks back against Spurs, they didn't play that badly. They've gone to Crystal Palace, who are in form, playing some good stuff under Patrick Vieira. And they got themselves a point. I know they've not won yet this season, but they've put in a couple of performances where, yes, the results haven't been there, but there's kind of signs that potentially something might be turning.
Yeah, and this is why it's dangerous, because they're starting to build something. And I think the manager going will just give the place a little bit of a lift, because there's that pressure off now of players who, they don't need to necessarily follow a system that wasn't working, and they might just be given the freedom in this game to say, look, it's Chelsea, you're playing Chelsea at home, European champions, you're going to be up for it, go for it. Show me who should be in this starting 11 for next week. And I think we are going to have a tricky game on our hands. I'd be very, very surprised if Chelsea walked this one over 2-3-0.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. Not going to be easy. Just to wrap up then, mate, having said it, it's not going to be easy. What are you going with score-wise?
Really tough. I'm gonna go for a draw, mate. I think
you're gonna go for a draw. Interesting.
Yeah, I know we're playing bottom 3, but for the reasons that I've said, when they lose a manager, you tend to get a little bit of a bounce. I think Newcastle's been a difficult ground for us. Like you said, we can't win every week, and Newcastle's always one. It's like Everton away. It's always one where we're like, could turn it on, might not turn it on. So I'm gonna go for a 1-1.
1-0. I'm going to go. I feel a bit more confident. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win. I think it will be close, but I just feel we've got too much quality compared to them, and enough experience and know-how to kind of grind out our results. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 win. But remains to be seen what will happen tomorrow. But hopefully, come the end of the weekend, Chelsea will still be top of the table. Yeah, but guys, that's just myself and George's thoughts. As always, leave any other thoughts you have in the comments below. If you've not hit that subscribe button, make sure you do. Make sure you smash a like on this video, and we'll catch you in the next one.